Hello and welcome back to On Air with Dr. Pete. I'm your host, Dr. Pete Economo, and I'm happy to be here with you all today and such amazing feedback. And it helps us to keep great show ideas coming to you so you can listen wherever you listen. Today, we're switching gears a little bit and exploring a topic that I'm interested in but know very little bit about. From apps that we use every day in our phones and recommendations that we see online, artificial intelligence is a part of our everyday lives, and it's faster than we've ever seen before. Stephanie Sylvestre is an AI strategist, speaker, and thought leader who's helping shape the future of AI and somehow making it feel a little bit more human in the process. She has spent years exploring technology, leadership, and human connection, all that collide with this wild era of AI working in global organizations and challenging how companies are thinking about using AI. Welcome, Stephanie, to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm super excited to be here today.
Well, I'm excited too because I mean that. Like, I really don't know much about it, but and as a professor, it's like here, and some of my colleagues are just like complaining about it, and I don't do well when people complain about stuff. It's like here, so just deal with it, right?
So let's educate them then.
Oh my God.
Let's educate them.
Well, that's what you're here for. So I'm fascinated with how fast AI has been introduced to us, and I would love to know how you first got involved in AI.
I've been doing AI for 10 years. I got involved in AI by accident. I was at dinner one night and I thought my friend said we should create a digital twin using AI. And I thought that would be great. That would solve a lot of problems. Imagine if everybody had one loving adult that believes in themselves more than they believe in them.
Yes.
How much more they can grow and excel.
Yeah.
And so there's studies that show that one loving adult has a huge impact on your trajectory.
Yes.
And she's like, that's not what I really said. And I said, that's okay. That's what we're going with.
What were you doing at that point?
I was the chief programs officer and chief informations officer at a local government entity in Miami. And so
Okay.
I've had, at that time, I probably had about 25 years in IT. And so I wasn't new to me in terms of tech and using tech to solve problems.
Yes.
But this piece of tech was new, and I've gotten close and closer to it. I realized it's really not tech, even though we call it tech. It's really not tech, and I think that's where people get a little bit discombobulated with, because
Yes.
it's tech, it's social engineering, it's resetting of society norms. It's so many things all at once, and that's why it feels so overwhelming.
Yes. It does. Yeah. Do you not feel overwhelmed by it, or is that just because you have all this experience in tech?
I was starting to feel overwhelmed until I realized that most of these things that are coming out are really of no impact on my life. And so what these guys have done is they've done a really good job of marketing.
Yeah.
And because they've done a really good job of marketing, it makes it look like, oh my God, every day there's something new. There's something new. And there is something new, but it's not significantly different.
Well, I want to ask you something that might be provocative, but I recently saw a documentary, and I don't know, maybe you don't even mess with some of those documentaries because maybe they just, hearing what you just said, maybe they're just doing a good job marketing. But I watched the AI doc, and it was really interesting to like see how I think they were sensationalizing it, but just like saying the message that I got was that did you see that? Do you know the AI doc on Netflix? No? Okay. You're probably healthier for not, but it was, the message was like, it's so fast that we don't understand it, and that AI is like going to develop in a way that it's probably going to take over things that we're not ready for it to take over.
Yes. So part of that is true, but not in the way that you probably think it's true.
Okay.
So these guys are, this is how I summarize it very simply. These guys convince other people to give them billions of dollars. And when they stopped and looked, the probability that they're going to recoup all of those billions of dollars, right? So if you invest $1 in me, you expect to get back $3, $5.
Right. Yes, of course.
And so I have to do things to ensure that I can give you back $5 or $10.
Right.
And at some point in time, if I say, oh, give me $1 and I'll give you back $75, and then I can't give you back $75, right?
Right.
That becomes a
Yes.
problem.
Sure.
So that's one data point to think about. The second data point is AI doesn't have a moat. So
Mm.
most companies, most industries, there's a moat around why it's harder to get in, why you have a competitive edge over somebody else. There's
Right.
real no moat in AI.
Mm-hmm.
That means anybody that wants to apply themselves can apply themselves
Right.
to an extent. And so because of that, every day somebody puts out something, somebody has to compete. So they're just competing to push up products, push out functionality. They've pushed out so much functionality. I look and listen, and most of the stuff that people are using AI for, I was like, this is complete nonsense. I'm being judgmental there.
Yeah. Well, because you talk about like ethical and inclusive, right? Like
Yeah.
yeah. So tell me about that. Like, how has your background shaped the way that you think about the ethical, inclusive AI systems?
Well, because I'm using AI to help make the world a better place. I'm using AI to help people feel better about themselves. And so what does that really mean, right? So you have an assistant that's helping you
Yeah.
schedule meetings, finding people, vetting people. So you're in demand, right? And so you can't get through all these people. And then so sometimes what ends up happening, you might get a less than stellar guest because, but what if you could have an AI agent that vets the people for you? And then based on how they respond, there's two ways they go. Either, yes, I want to schedule some time, and then you just send them down the path, or no, let's have a human chat with them just to verify that the AI was right, that they were not a good. So now all of a sudden you could schedule more people. Your assistant can do more things.
So
And
is
because
this,
you're,
or I'm
I'm
sorry
sorry.
to interrupt, but is this like the Avatar Buddy like ish, or this was what helped you build out the Avatar Buddy?
I mean, this is what we're doing. This is
Yeah.
what we're advocating. This is not necessarily just Avatar Buddy. Lots of other companies are doing it the same way.
Right.
I'm just advocating how to use AI to make people feel good about themselves. So your assistant feels better about herself because she's getting more done. She's not feeling overwhelmed. She's not feeling like drowned in like, oh my God, there's like 15 more people I need to coordinate with, 50
Right.
more people I need to. It's like, oh, I have 4 people I need to vet. I finished vetting them. I can go home. I can hang out with my kids, whatever.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're saying that AI makes the most sense to live.
Mm-hmm.
Say, oh, get rid of your assistant and just let the AI do everything. That's
I'm pretty
not.
sure my admin heard that the other day because I asked her, maybe she'll listen to this episode. I asked her, I was like, why don't you look into like, because I keep getting a lot of ads for AI medical assistants, that will answer the phone and take patient information. And I thought it would make her job easier. So I was like, why don't you just check it out and see what it's like? And so then she got a little defensive.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a healthy balance between
Yeah,
both. It's
totally.
not about one or the other.
Mm-mm.
And that's where I'm saying if you do AI that way, it's healthy.
Yes.
Your assistant feels good. She's getting her work done. She feels accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
You know, human beings need to have a purpose in life.
Totally.
So
Totally.
if you don't, if you're doing something you have no purpose in life, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Wait,
Just
so
think. I mean,
yeah, I want to hear about Avatar Buddy though. I'm really excited to hear about that because, everything you're saying makes a lot of sense. I mean, as a psychologist, I mean, I know this. I don't get. Yeah, I mean, I know about motivation and purpose, and a lot of our listeners have heard many episodes on that. How do you? So tell us about Avatar Buddy.
okay, so we take that same concept and we say we want to help you remove bottlenecks. So an example would be the customer said to me, "Hey, we're overwhelmed with emails. Can you help us get rid of the emails?" And I say, "Well, and that's not quite the AI that I produce, but let's take a look." And it turned out that there was a different problem that was manifesting itself with too many emails.
Mm-hmm.
So we addressed that problem. We took the the content knowledge and put it into the AI so that when other people ask AI the question, AI always gave it exactly the same answer.
Mm.
And it's because one, the AI is configured that way, and two, it's using a data vault of only their data. So it has less data to go through. And that's where we're different, right? Because we're saying you get a data vault, you get less data for the AI to go through, so it's less likely to hallucinate, less likely
Yes.
to make up stuff. Then you configure the AI to work the way you work.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody works slightly different.
Mm-hmm.
You configure the AI to work the way you work. And because you configure the AI to work the way you work, you're now more likely to be able to you're more likely to be able to get your work done better,
Mm-hmm.
quicker, and in probably the same way that you would normally have done it.
Okay, so I'm putting myself at dinner with you and your friend, and you all of a sudden hear a digital twin. And I'm stuck on that. I'm fascinated by that. So what exactly is a digital twin of a person, and where do you see that heading?
So a digital twin is taking your personality. So we had a psychologist create a personality questionnaire for us
Uh-huh.
and a rubric, and now we use that to digitize your personality.
Super cool.
And then we give you a questionnaire. I'm sorry, sit down with you with to do interview
Mm-hmm.
for you to talk about your life, like what catalytic things happen, how did your life shape your worldview.
Mm-hmm.
And we give the AI those two things, and the AI within 85% degree of accuracy
Wow.
can replicate you, can respond the way you would respond, come in with your perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe that digital twins is going to soon become a new asset class that you pass down from generation to generation. I
Yeah.
inherit Dr. Pete and all his artifacts.
Yeah.
So
Wait, but
your
that's
grand
kind of, but that is sort of scary in a way, because so I'm curious when you just said that, like, I think about social media, and when people pass, their social media account either becomes a memory account or becomes, somebody else manages it, which is a little weird because in the same way we've dealt with grief and loss, now if I have this artifact that's passed down by generations, it's both beautiful and do we ever know what it's like to lose and grieve?
I believe you'll still know what it's like to lose and grieve because the twin is not going to completely replicate you. One and two, it's more from preserving your legacy. That's where
Yeah.
we're thinking about it. Your grandchildren's grandchildren want to learn about what was it like to have your podcast? What was it like to have your practice? How did you make the decisions that you made?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
this, I believe this is the first time in history that
yeah.
everyone can be preserved. Right now, history is there's a
Yeah.
few important people, but we all know that those people
Yeah.
are just like less than a percentage of the people of their time.
Way less, yeah, way less than 1%. Stephanie, has me thinking about like Day of the Dead, which is a
Yeah.
Mexican kind of Latino culture. It's beautiful. Like, let's remember our ancestors. And so that's part of your vision. You see that that's what this could serve.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So you can always remember. I mean, so your family legacy, your history, your
yeah,
culture remains alive.
mm,
Individual family legacy is passed down orally from generation to generation.
yes,
But the farther you go away from it, the less you have. So if you think back 4 generations, do you know your whatever that grandparents of your grandparents of your like?
right,
Do you even know their names?
right. No, yeah,
So, but what if you could preserve that and you could
yeah.
know their names and you could know about how they perceive the world?
Yeah. Does because you're smart and this is what you do, does the data or like sort of the as you're writing these twins, like does it borrow from like ancestry.com or does it like gather data from no? Okay.
No, the person that's creating the digital twin determines what data goes into the twin. They have
Interesting.
full control over the data.
Yeah.
We're not pulling data from anywhere. That person is determined. So they have full control over how they're being remembered, full control over what people know about them.
Can they lie?
Well, obviously they can lie. I mean,
They
I
could.
won't know if they lie or not.
I could say that I'm like, the governor of New Jersey, or I don't know. I guess they
I
could.
mean,
Yeah,
you could say that, and then the AI will just repeat that because that's what you said, and that's what's stored in the data vault.
got it. All right. So a data vault. How do you see? Like, what would you say? So that's helpful for people to hear about. What do you think is like the biggest misconception of AI today?
That it can do everything that a human can do.
Yeah.
That you can replace humans with it. It's
Yeah.
not true. No experiment they've ever ran has shown AI to be able to replace a human 100%.
Yeah.
Um, Even those companies that are laying off people in mass saying it's because of AI,
Mm.
they're quietly hiring them back. That doesn't make the headlines.
Right.
So that kind of irritates me a little bit because I would prefer for them to be honest
Right.
about why they're laying people off.
Yeah.
It's
But
it's 2008 all over again, where people are like, the mortgage crisis
yeah.
impacted one industry, and people just used it as an excuse to get rid of a whole bunch of staff that they had deemed too expensive.
That's right.
And then they blamed it on the mortgage crisis and just upended people's lives en masse.
Yeah.
And they're doing the same thing again. It's absolutely the same playbook.
Yeah.
It's not AI. If you know even a little bit about AI, you would know that AI can't get replaced, not even for developers.
So that to me sounds like some of the critical thinking, which I guess that's typically what separates even us as a human species from other species. I guess that's what separates us from AI as a species.
Yes.
If we're going to name AI as a species, are we doing that yet?
No, I don't think we're there yet.
Okay, we're not there yet. But how do you think people could kind of maintain critical thinking with content that's AI generated?
Well, if you care about what you're producing and AI produces something, you have to take the time to review the document. So I'll give a perfect example, right, of the good parts of AI and the not so good parts of AI. But when you put it together, you're still a little bit better off. So I'm not a marketing expert. I wanted to do a marketing campaign around remove bottlenecks, not people.
Mm-hmm.
So we already have a few taglines that I also wanted to incorporate. Everyone needs a buddy, safe, simple, fast, human digital handshake. Those are
Mm-hmm.
our taglines that we want to include.
Yes.
So we had already created this marketing buddy, this marketing AI agent. We call them buddies. It was configured to behave like a marketing person. So I said to it, "Hey, this is what I want. This is what I'm trying to do." And so it produced a 50-page document, uber
Wow.
comprehensive.
Yes.
But in that 50-page document, there was lots of stuff that was repeated, that wasn't really needed. So then I took 6 hours. I sat down one Saturday, took 6 hours, and I went through that document. And when I was finished, it was a 20-page document.
Okay.
And that's the beauty
That's
of
a great
AI
example. Yeah.
is of the fact that I got a marketing campaign in a couple of days that would have taken me a few weeks if I had a human do it. But
Yes.
also, I want to highlight the fact that if I just taken what AI given me, I would have had 30 pages of garbage I didn't need.
That's right. Yeah, and because you also started with that with the hallucination. I learn as a layperson that AI hallucinates because it wants to please you, and so it will make things up, and because it always wants to give you an answer. So, in that regard, like, how do you see this affecting younger generations that are still in school?
You still have to become a content knowledge expert.
Yeah.
If you don't know your content, you cannot tell if the AI is telling you garbage. And if you can't tell if the AI is telling you garbage, then you're gonna fall for it. But I also want to I tell people this, right? It's not like AI is doing anything new that we haven't experienced before. Like when I
Mm.
was growing up, my brother, he used to do this thing where like all of his friends from the neighborhood would come around,
Hmm.
would sit on the porch, and he would say something, and it just had just enough truth in it.
Yes.
And then we would spend the afternoon arguing whether or
Yes.
not he was right.
Yeah.
That's what AI does.
Shot out to older brothers. Sounds like your brothers knew my brother. So, what advice would you give to those those school age kids? You know, what skills do you think that they need most if in this booming world of AI?
You need to know how to learn. And that sounds trite, but I don't think that people know how to learn anymore. Like, how do you go about deconstructing something to figure out if it applies to you or not? So I'll give you another really good example to see. So I just got back from Cape Town.
Mm-hmm.
I went there for Africa Burn,
Mm-hmm.
and the organizers of Africa Burn sends us all these things that you need to do, because if something happens to you in the middle of the desert, they don't want 10,000 people having a crisis in the middle of the desert,
Of
because that's
course, right.
not going to. So there's a stretch of road that's paved and corrugated, and it's just kind of like just a horrible road to drive on.
Mm-hmm.
And they call it the tire muncher road, because
Mm-hmm.
by the time you get there, you might have one or two flats.
Exactly. I got. Yeah.
Okay, so I said I'm going to go to Africa Burn, and I'm going to go by myself because I couldn't figure out how to get there. So I just rented a car. And people are like, "Oh my God, you're renting a car, you're driving by yourself. That is insane. Who does that?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Aren't you concerned about the roads?" And I said, "Let's deconstruct this. The people going to Africa Burn have loaded up their trucks and their vans and their vehicles packed with guilt, all kinds of stuff, their tent and their gear and their supply and all that stuff. So they're so heavy. Probably they've gone over the weight limit because nobody's
Right.
checking. And so you put that, an overloaded car, plus unpaved roads with people speeding, then of course you're going to get flat tires.
Right.
I am going to Africa Burn by myself with my body weight on
I
a
love
couple
it.
gallons of water
How many tires did
and
you arrive with?
4 tires, no problem. I came
So
back out, no
I love that.
problem.
I love that's like a very rational, logical mind. I understand that we share a love for meditation,
Yes.
and you know your work is also very demanding, very stressful. I'm imagining, and you've talked a lot about self care and meditation. So tell us about your daily routine and even the silent retreat that you go on every year.
So, I get up in the morning and I try to spend 10 minutes just lying there being still, just listening to whatever songs are around me,
Mm-hmm.
and then going throughout the day. Occasionally, I'll do some body scans. I don't always do that as well as I should. To just say, like, how am I feeling right now? So, like, I just got an email with some bad news, and I stopped and I said, how am I feeling right now? And I was like, I'm actually feeling okay. This is good. And then I kept on going. And so because I did that, I was able to then send back a very nice email
Mm-hmm.
thanking people for their time, blah, blah, blah. And the silent retreat is very cathartic
Mm-hmm.
because what it does, it allows me to just be with myself. Just
Yes.
stop
Yes.
and just be with myself and flush my brain. And
Yeah.
it's comical, at least for me, it's comical.
Yeah.
All the nonsense that I think about when I'm
Yeah. Well,
just sitting there and being.
I love that because it is comical when you can diffuse from it. I mean, obviously, not everyone. That's the goal that we do in meditation from a mindfulness perspective. So, do you think AI can help people become more mindful or present?
Yes, so but let me tell you how.
Yes, let's hear that.
So because it helps you get your work done quicker,
Right.
helps you produce higher quality work.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you more time in the day. And what I am hoping for is people will take more time, that extra time, and spend it in self-care, in meditation, in slowing down, in being bored, in being being restless and then not restless because I've become comfortable with the discomfort that's causing
Yes.
me to be restless. So that's how I see AI helping.
Nice.
When I went to Africa Burn, even though it wasn't a silent retreat, I was there by myself, and I would sit in the car and I just would look out at the vastness of the place.
Beautiful.
And got a lot of opportunity to just sit and be still and look out, and there's no distraction of technology. And I left that experience feeling as a light altering experience, being reminded of how significantly small I am in the vastness of this world,
I love,
but
yeah,
also the reminder that because I am so insignificantly small,
yeah.
I need to double down on making sure my little piece of the world is a little bit better.
I love that. We are already out of time. Is there like one takeaway that an AI tool that everyone should learn right now? I love that sort of ending.
I think that if you're going to get into AI, you're not going to hire an expert. Google Notebook LM is the solution that's probably the best one to go with.
Okay, that's your suggestion from the expert. Stephanie, so for our listeners who want to learn more, where can they find about Avatar Buddy and follow more of your work?
Stephanie at avatarbuddy.ai, or you just go to avatarbuddy.ai. You can look us up on LinkedIn. You can Google us, Avatar
Nice.
Buddy, pop up.
And so we'll have all of that in the show notes. Thank you so much for being here, Stephanie. This was really cool.
Thank you for the opportunity. It was a great fun to be on the show with you.
I appreciate that. And thank you to everyone who's listening at home. We know that topics like AI can sometimes feel overwhelming, or if you watch the documentary like I did, maybe you feel a little overwhelmed. But hopefully today, Stephanie and our conversation helped to educate you a little bit. AI is becoming quickly one of the most influential forces that are shaping modern world. So thanks again for tuning in at home. We'll be back here next week with another great episode and conversation. And until then, spread a little kindness and stay well.